Alright guys, welcome to another episode of 1Dirty Garage. Today's episode deals with something that very few of us do on a regular basis, and that's rotating our tires. Now, something very important to keep in mind is that, especially with these high-performance vehicles, what you have to do is you have to rotate their tires because A, you're either hooning around or you're taking it up through the canyons or taking it up through the mountains if you're on the East Coast, and just really stressing out these tires and putting wear on them. Now, 9 out of 10 times, the front two tires are the ones that take the most wear and the most beating, so that's why you have to rotate them front to back. And if you're really diligent, then you can rotate them front to back and then move the left to the right and the right to the left. Now, basically, this keeps your tires in rotation and wearing evenly, just because the rate of wear on each side of the vehicle is different. And so if you don't rotate them, then your tires wear unevenly, and it might be that the front tires are worn out while the back ones still have a lot of life left in them. And so we don't want that, because we want to keep our tires at an even wear so that the vehicle keeps riding well, it keeps riding perfect, and that we get the most amount of life out of our tires. Especially with the performance cars, with this Ford Focus ST that I've had for going on 2 years almost now. Each tire costs about $200. If you go to the Ford dealership, it's more around $280, $300. So I really don't want to spend that kind of money on it when I could spend that same money on upgrades and modifications. So for today, we're going to be rotating the tires on this vehicle, and I'll be giving you a quick tutorial. I know it's extremely simple, but it's something that you have to do if you want to keep your car running in top shape. So stick around and
Prior
enjoy
to
the
lifting
show.
up the vehicle, it's always important to put the vehicle in gear. That locks up the front tires, and then the emergency brake, which locks up the back tires. Now, both of these tires are in the air, but the other side's on the ground. What I've gone ahead also is I've put wheel chocks on both tires on the other side, so the car doesn't rock and it doesn't move. Now I've put two jacks on each side of the vehicle to lift it that way. It makes it easier and it's quicker. But if you don't have two jacks, get yourself a good jack. And if you go to Harbor Freights, I think it's for like $40 to $50, you can get a crossbar. And what this bar does, it's an adapter to the front of your jack, and it extends out so that you can lift an entire side of the vehicle without using two jacks. And that's actually what I'm going to get fairly soon. But for today, I'm just doing it this way. And I'll show you some tips and tricks to kind of
All the tires still
faster.
on the ground and it still has weight to it. Take one of these tire crosses. And the reason I use this and manually just break the lug nuts is because if you put the rattle gun right on the lug nut and you start drilling it, you'll start getting marring around the corners of your lug nuts. And, these are our babies, so you want to keep them looking good. So just manually break the grip on it, and if it moves, then just apply. I'm just going to lower it a little more just to apply more pressure to it, and just break that grip. You see, you're not beating on it, you're not rattling it. Now, after it's broken, if you want to put a rattle gun on it, that's fine, just because it's not going to be beating on the lug nut, and I'll show you guys. All right, so I have my little DeWalt rattle gun, and then I have the 1/2-inch adapter. And now the lug nuts don't take a beating, and you can get them off equally as fast. Easy peasy. Just take your wheel off, and now you're good to go to switch it out. And now we're just going to go through and click all the lug nuts, just making sure that everything was tightened up to spec. just do that to all four corners. Once you're done, you're good to go. Get back on the road.
The
and keep
tires
on
were
moving.
rotated. The lug nuts were double checked and even torque checked. Everything checks out. Everything looked good. Rotating your tires also gives you the ability to visually inspect your wheels. If you've been hitting potholes or just rough terrain, you can see bends in the wheel, as well as uneven wearing on the tread of the tire, which could be an indicator of many different suspension-related things. And also, it gives you a chance to look at your tire and just make sure that there's no punctures, no nails in it, and if there are, you can fix it accordingly. So, thanks for watching 1Dirty Garage. Stay tuned, because now I gotta work on this big guy.